very good afternoon. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. We are tracking the latest developments regarding the US-Israel-Iran war currently in West Asia. Now, Iraqi pro-Iran group Guardians of the West, Blood Brigades, have posted a video showing fireballing of the Pentagon headquarters close to the Baghdad International Airport. According to the Guardians of the Blood Brigades, these targeted strikes completely decimated what they have reported as the Pentagon's headquarters. Joining us on the broadcast right now on the phone line is Ambassador Sushil Singhal, who is a former diplomat. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NewsX. A very good afternoon to you. So when we're looking at these kind of reports that are obviously coming in, there are reports circulating across the media spectrum, but this is a specific brigade which are called Guardians of the Blood Brigades. Now these are Iraqi, this is an Iraqi group which is pro-Iran, and they have in fact stated, released a video as well, that they have destroyed what they have called as Pentagon's headquarters near the Baghdad International Airport.
Yeah, Shami, this is when, I think the big escalation from the Iranian side. We were all talking about the non-state actors who are in support of the Iran. Now this group in Iraq, what they have done is a real setback to USA, there is no doubt, because maybe their intelligence failed in this matter, and they have to now take action on that. Of course, there was also a conversation which is going on that Kurdish forces which are against Iran are being encouraged by US and Israel to take on the border towns of Iran. And of course, the Kurdish population in Iran also is being encouraged in similar manner. Maybe this is a retaliation or a preemptive strike by Iran or its supporter to tell the world, or particularly US and Israel, that there is going to be a consequences if they try to do this. But certainly, this is an escalation which I think US would, knowing President Trump, will not take it lying down, and will increase the intensity of its attack. But it clearly shows that Iran still has few cards left with them, despite being, asymmetric militarily and economically, and they are still responding pretty well, I would say, that given that situation, to the Americans and Israelis.
Right. And Ambassador, do you believe that this fear of conflict seems to be increasing as the day progresses?
Well, looks like at this stage, because there was expectation on the American and Israeli side and some other countries that the kind of carpet bombing USA is doing, and Israel, of course, is doing pinpointed attacks, the capacity of Iran will be just over finished. But the intensity and the pinpoint accuracy with which the Iranians are targeting the American bases or the Gulf countries or even Israel, looks like, there's going, they have quite a capacity which is hidden away, and Israel and US is not able to take on them. Only thing is, I think they are doing it, the intensity, somebody was telling, some reports are there, that the ferocity of these attacks have declined, which is quite possible because they are trying to conserve their ammunition on the missiles, on drones, because they are not getting more supplies now. So that is quite possible, but still they are able to attack. That clearly shows that Israel and USA have their path cut out for themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for speaking to NewsX and for taking out your time. With that, we have some more, in fact, breaking news coming in. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has come down heavily on the United States, condemning American strikes which targeted children and the innocent. He said that Iran's response would inevitably be directed at American bases and institutions. In a post on X, he accused the US of launching attacks from the lands of our Arab friends to target children and the innocent in Iraq. He stated, and I quote, "Iran and the Arab brothers have lived side by side for centuries in a spirit of affection, friendship, and mutual respect. The American aggressors launch from the lands of our Arab friends to target children and the innocent. As for Iran's response, it will inevitably be directed at the bases of the United States and its institutions." Let me introduce the guests who have joined us on the broadcast. Major General Sudhakar Ji, geopolitical and defense expert, and Shruti Das Gupta, who's a foreign affairs expert. If I can go across first to Shruti Das Gupta on this, ma'am, obviously we were talking to the ambassador as well earlier, who said that the sphere of conflict seems to be increasing as the day progresses. Today is day 8 of the war. We are obviously now seeing a lot of more countries being involved, a lot of more countries getting caught in the crosshairs, and now we have Iran stating that we will target US bases, we will target your strategic posts, we will target the military installations, but we will not let others also target our children, our innocent civilians. That's what the US is apparently doing, as according to Iran, by using the bases of their Arab friends.
You're right. The Arab friends are just as complicit as US forces in attacking places which are non-combat. So there should be some honor among thieves, right? There should be some honor in war as well. There are some war ethics that should be followed, which both parties in this particular scenario are avoiding. They present a compelling case for their avoidance of normal laws, rules-based order, but they continue to attack each other in the most novel of formats, which has not been seen as the norm of any form of war or operations in the world up till now. Civilian casualties is an unfortunate reality of war, and which is one of the reasons why, when weapons systems are so advanced that most civilizations tend to refrain from getting to a point of no return where war is the only choice. But in this particular scenario, civilian casualties are being used as the pivot of the war. Who can garner more sympathy? USA, by saying that look how the $1 billion damage that is happening across various platforms, or look how many personnel which are non-US as of now are being subject to war and its injuries and casualties and deaths. And Iran is doing the very same thing. Look how many children they have killed, look how many civilian casualties are being done. None of them want to address the fact that these both forces have moved their combat zones into urban warfare areas. They install agents in urban areas because according to normal rules of combat, people would not engage urban areas to prevent civilian casualties. Both of them attempt to use hospitals or underground facilities in urban zones to ensure security. So when the enemy strikes these zones, it becomes a point of moral or ethical balance which has been missed by them. So whether it is USA striking at girls' schools, primary girls' schools from what I understand, or whether it is Iran striking at hotels, it is the unfortunate price of this war is paid by the common people as well, not just military personnel. And that is something that is being lost in all the power tussle that is being happening in the Middle East as of now.
Absolutely, ma'am. In fact, we have some more breaking inputs that I'd like to introduce to our viewers. The IDF has stated, and I quote here, Iran's threat extends far beyond its borders. Through Hezbollah and other proxies, the Iranian regime targets civilians across the region. Together with the United States, we are dismantling this terror network. Let's listen into that statement that has come across.
Iran has been launching missiles to 12 different nations across the region since the beginning of Operation Roaring Lion. Together, with the United States, we are ending the regional threat posed by Iran. 60% of the regime's missile launchers and large amounts of missile stockpiles have been neutralized. Around 80% of Iran's air defense systems have been neutralized as well, allowing for aerial superiority over the skies of Iran. Our actions, alongside American operations, have brought an extreme decrease in the Iranian regime's attack. Iran has proven once again that it is not only a threat to Israel, it is a threat to global stability. Iran's global threat is not limited to Iran's territory. A few days ago, Hezbollah launched an attack against Israel in solidarity with the terror regime. Hezbollah has once again proven that they prioritize the Iranian regime over the people of Lebanon. Since then, they have launched dozens of rockets and UAVs towards Israeli communities. Like the patron in Tehran, Hezbollah deliberately targets civilians. We warned Hezbollah not to join this fight. We made it clear that they should not endanger the Lebanese people on behalf of a regime.
Let me in fact rope in Major General Sudhakarji on this. Sir, we are seeing day 8 of this war, and since day 1, you and I have been tracking these developments. Today, when we see the sphere of the conflict expanding, we are looking at Hezbollah being involved. The IDF is stating that there are other proxies as well. We were just earlier as well talking about this Iraqi Shia group that is pro-Iran, that claim to have destroyed the Pentagon headquarters in Baghdad. How far are you seeing the escalation now go, sir?
Good afternoon, Shivani. Thank you for getting me for your show. I pulled up my vehicle to the roadside. It's a very serious and sensitive issue you are touching, and my penny's worth is a lot. It is yet to expand, and it is going to cause devastation not only in Middle East, it will expand to Europe as well. That is how I visualize. Now it is to be seen from the perspective of a couple of issues. First and foremost, Iran has been warning USA and Israel that do not underestimate Iran and be prepared for the consequences. So this is how the consequences manifest. And a loss of school children, girl children, 150 of them or more than that, 170. There was a volleyball team also not being spoken in the media, and the supreme leader and 49 important leaders having been knocked off in just about 60-second operation it hasn't gone down too well. And Iran has come out rightly as the self-esteem of the nation has been shattered. So they have done what they wanted, what they feel is appropriate, and they will be going more belligerent. The only thing is, in past 8 days, when you talk about the combat residual power, they are mindful of the fact that they are no match with the USA and Israel put together as far as the conventional resources are concerned. Their air force is small, navy is small. However, Iran army has got around 600,000 people. The reservists are around 2.5 lakh or more than that. They have got Basis group, which is around 20 million, although open source says it is only 900,000. And likewise, so they have proxies also, although reduced in size and the lethality because of ongoing operations post 7th October 2023. So all I would say that it has got a potential to expand further, cause devastation, and not to miss their vessel which was going back from India on the backyard of India, that is around 200 nautical miles from India's coast, south east of Sri Lanka, in the international waters. This was torpedoes. Now such things, without having given a warning, carrying out an activity, neutralizing the supreme leader and 49 senior leaders of Iran, without having declared a formal war. One cannot actually, one is, doesn't have enough example to quote such kind of things have happened ever in Cold War 1.0, 2.0. So therefore, one thing that comes to my mind is while USA and Israel are falling short, their stock of strategic reserve of interceptors have depleted significantly. That means the Iron Dome will not be as effective as it used to be earlier. Iran has not shown its hand with regard to the type of missiles it has. It has got hypersonic missile called as Hataf-2, which moves at a speed of 18,000 plus kilometers. So that means you need to have something which moves faster than this in order to stop it or intercept it. So that neither USA nor Israel have. And third thing is the surge capacity. As on today, Iran is producing kamikaze drone to the tune of 400 drones every day. In a month, it comes to 12,000. The cost per drone, that is Shahid 136, is $20,000. When you compare one drone with the missiles they fire to neutralize it from the Iron Dome, the cost of per missile is $4 million. One missile is not enough to take care of one drone. They have to fire minimum 2 to 3. So max 3, that means $12 million to $20,000. So look at the ratio. So it is going to pinch the pocket of Americans. And second thing is, interceptors take anything between 1.5 to 3 years for manufacturing. And they have already doubled up, they have projected the demand 4 times the routine requirement. That is, the Pentagon has projected the demand, which will take at least 1.5 years from now to fill up the world. And besides that, there is also another issue which comes to my mind, and that issue is that the Patriot missile which USA has deployed in the Middle East, as also Israel has deployed, it has to be understood it is directional. It takes care of 120 degrees. So Iranians have been studying this particular thing, and they have been hitting these bases in the balance of 240 degrees, and thereby making the Iron Dome or the Patriot missile architecture extremely vulnerable. So therefore, Iran is on the upper hand. They have lost quite a few missile launches in past couple of days operation. They had total of 200. I am given to understand 100 odd have been destroyed by the Israeli attack. They are left with 100 more. So now they have gone in for a strategic, it is called an endurance strategy of dispersal. Dispersal is, rather than having at one point, they have dispersed all over the country in different places, and they have gone in for another important thing which is known as mosaic deployment or mosaic defense. Mosaic defense is a decentralized method of defense, contrary to it used to be centralized earlier. Now the entire country of 31 provinces have been divided into theaters and zones and sectors. In the respective sector and zone and theater, there are theater commanders. I think there are 5 or 7 of them. They have been nominated. They will fight and defend their respective sectors, zones and theaters. And their commanders, they have an army kind of hierarchy. They have a deputy commander and others to replace if the senior leaders are subjected to any kind of attrition by the adversary. Back to you, Shivani.
Right. Thank you so much, General, and Shruti Dasgupta for speaking to NewsX with those valuable perspectives.